Okay, so I see that we don't have a very big movement here around, so maybe we'll start with our program. So time is ticking, and yeah, we have 2 hours for this. Okay, I will start. Yep, we have 5 people now in online version and 5 here. So okay, my name is Georg Martin. I'm professor of marine biology at the Marine Institute and working in Baltic, responsible for Work 6 monitoring program. So this is task here. And today session we have organized this way, or yeah, it was like agreed that we will have separate online and in-person sessions. But in the beginning, at first, I will give the introduction, uh, and then I will shut down my window screen here, and we will work in parallel. So we will be working using online tool Miro. So we will collect information or our opinions or whatever we can produce here in one place. So to allow us later to extract the information and use it in our protocol. So this is general idea. I will be this in person, but Hanna will be sharing part after the short introduction. Okay, so I will try now to share my screen. So now I hope that everybody sees this screen. So I hope so. Yeah. So if not, you can call me or message me. That, done. Okay, short introduction. So the whole topic is about monitoring, and in the project Baltic Protect, we are talking about monitoring in MPAs. So this is something which is very much needed. You need, for example, monitoring to understand how efficient is your MPA. So you need some kind of feedback, and monitoring in general meant to be some kind of program which produces you data and allows you to collect information, and you can use that information later for different purposes. So we will be talking about monitoring in MPAs. So in general, monitoring what is happening, we have in the Baltic very good, I would say, very extensive environmental monitoring network run by countries, but supervised by HELCOM, called HELCOM Combined. And here are some examples of station network and some frequencies of observations around the Baltic. And we have defined this information very HELCOM map and data service. And of course, every country has their own resources to present this. But this is a really extensive data collection program, and this allows quite detailed assessment of the status of the environment. Like this class 3 was recently published by HELCOM, and I think it was very comprehensive, very good thing, and it's very data intensive, and it has. This is a good example of how this monitoring program is used, and so this is one way of understanding of monitoring. Yeah? So these are you can see the parameters combined programming includes several tens of different parameters collected in that way and is shared and together. So this is one way of doing it. So if we look at Baltic Sea MPAs. And here I have taken again from Helcom portal the map of Natura 2000 sites and the Helcom MPAs. So we can easily see that the coverage of most of these environmental monitoring stations fit with MPA and 2000. So, of course, in different countries, in different MPAs, exist their own monitoring programs, which sometimes called in a very different way, be like surveys, species count, and so on. So they 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 usually can be called in very different ways, but the general idea is that this data collection is surely happening, not everywhere, but somewhere. And one of the tasks in this project will be also to collect this information. So we will try to compile all over from all MPA the ongoing uh, uh, monitoring programs, examples of monitoring programs. So now, yeah, some description of the tasks, what we are going to do in this project. So the first task is to review existing monitoring programs in MPAs. So we will look into information from different sources on active monitoring programs for around the Baltic Sea. We will analyze the sufficiency of existing monitoring programs. We will look into guidelines, and we will analyze the gaps and shortcomings of existing monitoring. And then the task is to look into possibilities for using novel new methods. That means that there might be different ways how to collect data, which is not used for MPA purposes, but we will look into that and develop some proposals. So, and finally, there will be in the final stage of the project, there will be guidelines or some recommendations how to organize MPA monitoring program in the MPAs on the Baltic-wise scale. So how we will work today? After this introduction, we will work in the MyRobot, which is probably you know already, online tool. We will collect information there. I have formulated main key questions, and we will try to collect. It was supposed to be split into groups, but now it's not very wise to do. So we will work in one group here, and online will decide how they will do, and we will just discuss and put some ideas on the table. And there are three key questions, and then there is one bonus question. If we have time, then we can use the fourth also. And in the end, we will have a discussion, or after each question, we will have a common discussion, and we'll summarize it together with like from the online discussion, and we'll create a summary of it. So that's a plan. And yeah, these key questions shortly. One is how should ideal a monitoring program look like? So, and here it's divided into different sections. Which parameters should be used? Which frequencies? What other important properties should be considered of composing MPA monitoring program? Costs, reliability, quality assurance, data flow, storage, and important aspects for reporting. This is one topic. Another one is what kind of information should a monitoring program produce? This is actually also quite important. So what do we want out of those monitoring programs? Are those distribution maps of species? Are these time series of some parameters? Is this distribution and intensity of human pressures and so on and so on? These are examples. So this can be different things. So we will look into that. And question 3 is who should be responsible for monitoring activities in NPAs? So there are options like, for course, this environment monitoring program is usually run by ministries, central government. MPAs in different countries are managed at different levels. Should it be a local municipalities, governmental organizations, environmental agencies, industries, NGOs? Can it be a citizen science-based? This kind of different options. And of course, we can discuss who should cover the costs of this. And the bonus question is, should we prefer traditional, reliable monitoring methods or new innovative technology-based monitoring methods, and why? So we can again make proposals and a little bit describe so which could be preferred. So these are 4 questions what we are going to work. So now I'm going to sharing. Hanna will take it over here online version, and we will work here, and we will meet all together in Marable. See how it's there. Okay. So Hanna, please, floor is yours. I'm closing down.
Thank you, Georg. I'm not sure how the connection was for the presentation, because for me, I didn't really understand Georg's. But I think the problem was when he connected the screen, the connection went bad again. But can you hear me well? Okay, well, at least that's good. So basically, the build-up for this workshop is that I did my report with all the 3 questions for different groups. And so every group starts to fill up or answer those questions. They're quite short, or I mean, the answers are short, but I hope they are complex enough for you to have something to discuss. I can see right now that we have 12 people here, including me, so 11 people participating. And well, I was prepared for 50 people, and I didn't really plan to do the introduction, because I thought when there's 50 people, we can't everybody say something about themselves. It would take over half an hour. But I would be happy if everybody else who is not joined with audio and video would join too, because I think otherwise they cannot take part into the workshop. But since there's so little of us, I think we can all say some like few sentences about ourselves to get to know each other, and then we can continue to the discussion side. So my name is Hanna. I work at the Estonian Marine Institute. I'm a project manager there, and today I will be helping Georg to conduct the online workshop for monitoring. So maybe next Matilda can say something about herself.
Okay, so I'm Matilda. I'm from Warsaw, and now I'm planning I'm planning the project for my PhD. So I'm looking for something what will be interesting.
Okay, and what are your expectations for this workshop? Are you just trying to learn something, or you're more like you have strong opinions and you want to share your opinions about?
I want to learn, but those maps I used for my master's degree, so I already somehow I used it.
Okay, good. Niklas, maybe you can go next.
Now you can hear me, I think. Niklas Lignell, I'm from Sweden. and I work for BirdLife Sweden as a conservation coordinator. So we have a system called IBAs, if you are known about that. And I'm curious about how we can collaborate the IBAs with this, because IBAs is where we point out the important bird areas. And we have also a system for specific water connected birds. So I work with a common, quite similar system, but just for birds. So that's my point for this.
Okay, Lena, maybe?
Yes, thank you, and hello everyone. I'm Lena. I'm based in Gothenburg, Sweden, at the University Chalmers, and I'm a researcher, a marine ecologist, and we look at much at shipping and shipping impact. And now it's about invasive species, where we have projects around basically how you can avoid that the invasive species transfers end up in the MPAs. That's at least the overall goal or aim. So that's my angle in, and I'm a really big fan of those HELCOM maps. I used them a lot for different projects earlier, so I think it's really good way to visualize what's going on and use them as a background. Yeah, thank you.
Agne, maybe you can go next.
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Agne Lukashevich from Vilnius, Lithuania, and it seems that I'm the only one to represent the private sector here. I'm working for Ignitis Renewables, international energy company that is the one to develop the very first offshore wind farm in the Baltic Sea in Lithuanian waters. So I'm here to learn and I'm an environmentalist, and my duty here is in the company is to find the best ways to balance the energy needs and the nature needs, and how to balance the ecology and the economy. And I need an inspiration for good, productive, effective measures, how to reduce the impact and to contribute to the biodiversity and ecosystems.
Okay, thank you. So I can see that there are actually 5 more people without cameras or microphones. So is there anybody else who would like to introduce themselves? Okay, so instead of 55 people, there's now actually, I would say 4 people then, but it's okay. I will share you the Miro link, and can anybody tell me, have they used Miro before?
On a previous workshop, just.
Okay.
Yeah. And I had a little problem with it.
Oh, okay. Well, let's try again. So you can move around in Miro using the right mouse click and zoom in and out with the little scrolly thing. And when you open the link, I put into the workshop chat. Do you all found the link? Good. Then you can see there are 2 sections, like in-person groups and online groups. So we are, of course, on the online group place. And the questions are also written there. So the first one is, okay, I can see already some movement. But the first question is that how should the ideal MPA monitoring program look like? Like, what are the most important parameters for you, like from your position of view? How frequent should be the monitoring? Other important properties. And so the question has divided into 3 groups. And the first assignment is to list 3 of the most important parameters for you or from your point of view, and their frequencies. And I would prefer if you would list them like in order of priority. So the first one would be most important, and the third one would be less important. But considering the topic, I think it's maybe a little bit difficult to do that because a lot of those things are important for a lot of reasons. But the second part is then what are other 3 most important properties for monitoring programs, like, for example, cost, reliability, data flow, and storage. And of course, you can choose something that's not on the list. That would be even preferred. And the third part is to list 3 most important aspects of reporting, like how would you like to receive the information from monitoring programs. And I think since there are 4 of you and I'm the 5th, maybe I do 2 groups. And so we have at least 2 different group opinions we can discuss later, if that's okay. Or you want to discuss all 4 of you together, those questions. What would you prefer?
Maybe we can take it all 4. I don't know if you agree.
Yeah, sure. Well, I thought I thought there was 50 people, so but okay. Let's then discuss the first thing. 3 most important parameters. So we can do not 10 groups, but everyone can 1, 2, 3, 4. Every one of you can then list 3 aspects that are important to you, because I need something to put different opinions together later. So maybe we can do numbers in same row we introduced ourselves. So Matilda's number 1, Nicholas number 2, Lena number 3, and Agne number 5, from the group row. Was that clear?
I think so.
Yeah.
I just entered my name instead of the number there, just for
Yeah.
the,
But I can't see the slider, the space.
Okay, somebody. I think somebody deleted this, but no worries. I'll bring it back.
Yeah, I'm afraid it was me. Sorry about that.
No problem. I was worried that this might happen, but Helcom is really innovative in their. I will, just in case, I will duplicate this again one more time. So if we delete it, we at least have it again.
I start to work on paper.
Yes.
Sorry.
But it's okay.
Okay, but important things to include.
But Nicholas, you said you don't see it?
No.
But did you open the link I sent you?
Maybe not. By email?
No, in the chat in this workshop.
But now it's back, I would say.
But okay, now I understand, because I haven't realized that I should look in the chat. Where do I find it?
The chat should be right next to the our icons, our faces. Okay, let me see. Maybe I can send you.
I think I didn't delete it. I think I just made it.
No, now I found it. Thank you.
Kind of. Because
So
now I have it back, at least here.
I'm on track now.
Okay. So Niklas, you can see that there are like two in-person group side and online group side, the blue one.
Yeah.
So come with us to the key question one field. And so the first question is like three most important parameters and their frequencies in monitoring programs. Example of parameters are like oxygen concentration, seal abundance, anything you can like actually measure. So from your point of view, what are the most important things that we should be monitoring on MPAs? Yes.
But okay,
I think I have to go and find some new cursor because I can't move the I'm still I have technical problems.
But
okay,
can I?
You can speak then. What do you think?
Yeah, but I want to see
yourself?
I want to see the workspace so I can see what I talk about. That's how I work. So now at least, yes. Yeah.
Now, Niklas, sorry, you should be writing on number 2 line if you want to do.
Yeah, I'm number 2. But it's tricky questions.
I just wanted to enter something into the next window, and then everything that I have written disappeared.
You can click, you see on the left side, there's like this arrow back, like undo button. Try clicking it, this one for you. Yeah, you got it? So Agne, you have finished, yes? For the first question. So yeah, let me know if you have finished with the first question. Yes?
Yes.
No. Wasn't sure if you're hearing me still. I think, Lena, your microphone is doing some weird.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So I will turn it off.
So I'll give you 2 more minutes for the first question, and then we can maybe discuss a little bit. Okay, so let's start discussing since we have time limit here. Agne, can you hear me, or have you moved? Okay, so first question then. Most important parameters while monitoring MPAs. So Matilda, what do you have listed there, and why are these important to you?
Okay, so I put just the stuff which I use. So the soil coverage, macrophytobentic species coverage, and water quality, which I should be updated like every day. But I don't know if it's your work because it's something what I can also found like from the local meteorological points. And for the important properties, so how often it will be updated, reliability, and so it should be open for everyone. And aspects for reporting, I'm not really sure what I can put here. Maybe something that some reports which can be produced for decision makers or for like people just to know what is the state of the environment and why they should look for how to protect.
Well, also, I think, well, for the aspect for reporting, the open access maybe goes there that if it's reported, it should be available for everybody. And you should have, it would be good if we had like a database with which would consider all of the countries that are connected with Baltic Sea. So we would have like one big database. So the information would be like all there. Not that you have to ask Estonia for something, you have to ask Finland for something. So I think that's what's meant like in the reporting fields.
Okay.
But yeah, these are. How would you say what you wrote down right now? Is this data available for you, or it's
Yeah.
something?
I have a little problem with the soil coverage, but I can find it. I don't remember if there or somewhere else, but it was hard for me to find.
Okay, so the accessibility should be better with some of those parameters.
Yes, probably.
And Niklas, what's in your opinion the most important parameters in this monitoring? Oh, sorry, you're muted.
So now I think it's important to really clear what kind of threats is this kind of area based on. What's the main threat and what is it about? That's one to have that in good condition and descriptions. So that's make the area more believable, or what you say, if you understand me. And to get all the facts around the threats, you need to collect data. And the data need to be collected in a way that it get good credibility for the ones that will use it and take advantage of the data. And all that needs a very good and clear process for how this data will be processed and for the updating. So the data will be updated and correct. Yeah.
Okay,
but so I think it needs standardized routines when it comes to updating data.
Okay. So next, Lena, what's most important parameters in your opinion? You're also muted.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I sorted it first into groups, but maybe more some kind of biodiversity index would be for the parameters, I guess. And then as I have this focus on invasive species, I think that is, that maybe belongs more to the groups to monitor. But yeah, the biodiversity in some way.
Yeah, but how often you think?
Yeah, okay, the frequency. I mean, in the best of worlds, we did this thinking, and yeah, I mean, I think it's really difficult, but it's as it is this seasonal variation. If thinking of benthic assemblages, I mean, it should be. No, I don't know if I can actually. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, okay.
Want to guess, but it should capture the seasonality in some way.
And important properties for monitoring program, I see reliability, of course. and data access. Yeah.
Yeah, which I think the reliability, I think it's probably it's quite good in the monitoring in general. But yeah,
But we should keep it this way.
We should keep it
really
this way.
important. Yeah.
Yeah, and for the data access, and I still see that someone else wrote also open access, which I agree with. So I think that is. Yeah.
I think the data accessing part and this open access is kind of like a problem, I would say, or it's not that easy as it could be, considering how advanced everything is now.
Yeah,
but that's good that it's written down here.
Yeah, because thinking of how much money going into the monitoring and how much samples that are taken and all the efforts it would be, I think there are room for improvement how to access it for using it. For more to do more with it.
Exactly. And now Agne.
Yeah. My point of view, of course, from my sector where I'm working. So this is offshore wind, future offshore wind farms. So those are the parameters that we are going to affect the most, I guess, especially first two. So we are talking about birds and wintering birds and migratory birds, and of course bats. But bats is not that. Of that concern, because we are going to be like 40 kilometers away from the shore, but still we need to assess all those things and to see what impact do we really have and what can we do to reduce that impact, because at least our marine area where the park will be developed, the wind farm will be developed, it is next to the, it borders a bit, for a short distance, the Natura 2000 area, which is designated for birds and for both birds and habits, actually. So, and especially when we are preparing now environmental impact assessment documentations, conducting all the surveys, we can see how important it is to have the data collected in a way that is agreed internationally, that our methods are the same as I don't know, someone in Germany understands those methods. So birds, the marine mammals, this is especially when we are talking about negative impacts, this is especially related to underwater noise that during the installation of offshore wind farms. What are the thresholds for their hearing organs and how can we reduce that? And of course, then abundance and status of the population before the installation and during the operation, and when after the decommissioning phase. Of course, it's a long time perspective, but still we should think about that now. And pollution is something that overall covers pollution is something that affects nearly all the aspects of the ecosystem. So this is, at least from my point of view as an environmentalist, I think this is very important.
But can you be a little bit more specific? What kind of pollution do you mean here? Like pollution from building the wind farms?
Well, this is not in terms of offshore wind farms. This is more a general one. Because, because the pollution coming from all the basin of Baltic Sea area. Well, previously, I was working for Ministry of Environment on the Baltic Sea issues, so I've seen all those problems and eutrophication and heavy metals and all other things. So, I have a basic knowledge on that, so it's just something that concerns me a bit. Yeah. Okay. So.
And I can see that again the data consistency. That's actually a little bit different from what others suggested, but data comparability. Okay, that's what you already talked about, right? So that we can internationally all agree on the same things.
Yeah.
Okay, and since we don't have too much time, we can move to the second question. It's basically what information you want from there. Do you want the maps, distribution maps, or time series of species abundance, or what is the most important thing for you? It says list 5, but maybe we can do it 2. List 2 most important things, and I'm going to give you time until 3:30. I think that's okay for thinking 2 things there. Okay, Agne. Well, but I've seen you have mostly answered all the questions already in advance, so we can still use them in discussion. But I guess we can now talk about the second question. So, important topics or what should the MPA monitoring program produce? So let's again start with Matilda. What do you think should be the outcome of the monitoring programs?
Yes, okay. So I just wrote that there should be maps from different period of times, which contain the distribution of species. And I also wrote to the first question about the endangered species because it was quite hard for me to find those information.
Okay. But anything else other than maps? Can you think of anything else? Or maps are the main things you use?
For me, it's really great solution.
Okay. And Niklas? You're muted again.
Sorry. Maps as well. Very straightforward and good maps that tells about the threats and why and the species. And I think another important thing is to highlight the status. What's the criteria for these areas? Why are they in this system? And what's the conservation ambitions about it? Then I think it would be good to have some layers that you can compare other forms of and systems for protection, Natura 2000 and Ramsar and my own IBAs, KBAs that BirdLife is working with. That should be good to have a possibility in the system to show other forms of protections in the Baltic. Yeah.
Okay, good. Lena, what did you find most important?
Yeah, I will echo the maps here. I think that is, yeah. And then I also added, maps of both species and distribution. I added a list of red listed species, I think.
But do you mean list of red listed species, or do you mean like the abundance or time series of abundance of red listed species?
Yeah, I think I was developing it in that trend. So maybe, 1 and 2, they will go into trends.
Okay. Yes, okay.
With
but
time,
more specific you are, the easier for me. It's later.
So it's like both 1 and 2 is with time, so to say. So
okay.
that will turn into trends, and I guess they all are in a way the same thing, or they will develop into trends. But then I also think pollution, and I maybe was a bit vague, but both chemical, biological pollution, then meaning invasive species and noise. It's like I think someone else just took this up, what is the what is most dangerous for this area, kind of you want to be aware of, as then you can put your efforts right. If this is really affected by one of the pollutions, then it's like, okay, can you steer your efforts towards that? So that requires the whole impact system on top of it.
Okay, but as of now, can you say that this type of information is available for you?
Yeah, I think chemical pollution is available through this hazardous substances assessments by HELCOM. So partly yes. Biological pollution is available, for example, via the Aquanis database. So that would be a source if I should find out how close are the dangerous species. Noise, I think I'm not so into that myself, but I'll try to be a bit wider than my own interest. But there is this also HELCOM. There are some projects that done this measurement, so I think it's partly available, but I don't know how to what resolution, so to say.
Okay, and Agne?
Yes, same here. Maps are the best way to show what the problems, threats, the situation for different parameters is, and especially in my case, when I have a very clear area where I need to know the status of different parameters. For example, I don't know the harbor porpoise distribution or the status of it. So maps is the best way to go, just to make clear to realize the situation, and then you can go deeper, looking for data sheets, looking for some trends or something, just to have that informed decision while making one or other, I don't know, business decisions.
Yes. And also then trends.
Yeah. So data sheets, trends, consistent data that can show you where are we going, what direction we are going with, I don't know, let's say invasive species or something.
Okay. While right now listening to each other, does anybody have maybe like a new idea, or what else should be important to outcome from the monitoring programs?
I have like loose thoughts about because I don't know how HELCOM collect the data, because it's like a lot of data from different places, and really I don't know how it works. But for example, for Algabase, everyone can like inform to the platform that they found something, and I don't know, maybe individuals can also like give you that information to check if it's something it's there.
Yeah, I think right now it is that it's, for example, in Estonia, it's like nationwide, but I don't think that information reaches finally HELCOM, and because, for example, you're searching for some specific species, I don't think you would ever end up in like Estonian database, or I think it would be, you could, of course, but yeah, I think the biggest problem maybe is the combined database that would enable for us to share the information with each other. And so more people could use the data to do more research or master thesis, PhD thesis, and so on. But let's maybe move on to question number 3. Who should be responsible for monitoring activities in the MPAs, and who should cover the costs? It's like government, local municipalities, environmental agencies, and for example, in fish farms, like who should be responsible for the monitoring there if it's in the theme. And so I guess maybe I will give you 10 minutes. And also, if you have any thoughts about question 2 or question 1, it would be really nice if you could also fill in some empty spaces if you have there, so that we would have more information to consider when we are going to start doing these programs. So yeah. Well, I can see that you have already given me answers, and I think Lena went somewhere, so I don't think we are going to wait for her. But So yeah, who should be responsible for monitoring activities? And again, let's start with Matilda.
Okay, I'm not really sure, but I think that the methodology should be comparable. So it should be like one program divided into the countries, and yeah, but like something bigger than just one country. And who pay for this? It's hard question.
Yeah, okay. Niklas, well, I guess we can actually go to Agnes' answer because that's where you're referring to. So, Agne,
I was quite lazy there. But it was a good answer, so you're free.
yeah, I agree. It's a good answer. So, Agne, can
Yes. Yeah, okay. So I think that, well, national authorities are the main institution which can assure the quality of the monitoring and the consistency of it, and the timing, like maintaining the periods of the I don't know how to say it, how to express it in English, but to assure that the monitoring is timely when and where it is needed. So national authorities, I don't know, in the Lithuanian case, it is Environmental Protection Agency, and you can like coordinate that monitoring on the international level, but still the national authorities are the ones who can assure and implement that monitoring in a way that is needed to have the best out of it. And there are some parameters that are, well, when I wrote that governments should share the costs with businesses, I meant that there are some parameters that, for example, in our case, birds, we will monitor birds. Environmental Protection Agency will approve our monitoring program. So we are paying for the monitoring. And Environmental Protection Agency organizes the control, whether we are monitoring that, whether the monitoring is, I don't know, conducted in the right way. But there are parameters that are not needed for businesses. Well, that are needed just for the general knowledge of the status of the ecosystem. So those are for the national authorities, I think, or I don't know, the international formats, frameworks, or anything else. But yeah, this should be split sensibly, I guess.
Okay. So yeah, and Niklas has same answer as you, so we can maybe move to the additional question. Should we prefer traditional monitoring methods or new and innovative methods? And I would like to maybe widen the question that should the monitoring program be exactly the same on all of the MPAs or no? And yeah, I think I'm not going to give a time limit. We'll just see when you have answered, then we can go from there, so we don't have to wait for no reason, if that's okay with you. So, okay, looks like Lena's writing. But if everybody's ready, we can start discussing. And maybe maybe we should start with Agne. You said you have to leave soon, right?
Yeah, in 2 minutes I have to switch to another meeting. Yeah. So, well, basically traditional methods, they are well tested. So that's good news for everyone, because everyone knows that it is conducted in agreed methodologies, and they are reliable, and they have the history, and they have lower costs. But sometimes I think that they can't gather and manage a large amount of information that new technologies, especially artificial intelligence, can offer. I've participated in some workshops where companies introduced their artificial intelligence tools to, for example, to monitor birds, where they can identify not only the species, but also see the bird's trajectory of flying, and including and birds and bats and whatever creature moving in the air. Was it the bird or the Harry Potter, whatever? So, and they have large databases for that, and so you can just have a lot of useful data to make sure that you turn off turbines, for example, when you have very sensitive species or something. So artificial intelligence is something we should explore more. And with that, I'm very thankful for this workshop. It is extremely interesting and sad, but I have to switch to another meeting. So
yes, thank you for participating, and good luck in your next meeting.
Thanks. Bye.
Yeah. But now let's continue with Matilda. Traditional methods or innovative methods, and why the other are.
Okay, so I would say that for now I prefer like innovative methods, because then we do not have like the problem if someone reads the measurement wrong. So we rely more on something more like specific, I think.
Okay. And in traditional methods, you have but lower reliability of data and lower cost for technology and accessibility of the methods. Yeah, okay. And Niklas, what are your thoughts on the subject?
Do you hear me now?
Yes.
I think the most important thing is that the monitoring methods are based and looking for reaching a clear, looking for good data that will manage and fit to a common standard based on the same criteria. So the methods have, I think that they have less importance as long as they clearly identify the area according to the standard that we are aiming for the MPAs to be, I think. That must be the most important, that they are that we get a good trust in the MPAs based on a standard with common and same criteria for every MPAs.
Okay. Thank you. And now, Lena, what have you come up with?
Yeah, I actually wrote reliable on the traditional ones. So I don't know, maybe I'm a bit old school, but I think it depends on what type of sample it is,
Yes.
of course. And we discussed the AI and machine learning methods for zooplankton the other day, and of course they could process much more samples in a short time, but it still is the learning phase and then the manual checking, and that leaves it leads me to be a bit like what to say, not yet confident, but I think I'm actually not so well into this area, so maybe people that work with it and know more about it should have their opinions, not me guessing. But I had a question also on the traditional ones, and I wonder if we will run out of taxonomists in the future. Are they like, I at least I have the feeling a little bit now that they are not so, you're not so easy to get hold of the people with the depth knowledge around the species and so on.
Mm.
And then one other thing complicating it is when you get this high resolution within the species, you have those species that hybridize, or what is called, and it's getting complex in the field. So it depends on also to what degree you need resolution, because then you might need to use other techniques to be able to actually detect that. You can't do it visually. You need so it's depending on the sample would be the
Yes,
the different pros and cons.
If I would answer your taxonomist question, then in Estonia, I think we already have problem with, for example, seals. We don't have many people working with seals and seal data, and it's really quite difficult to obtain data, even like in nationwide. So I don't know if somebody from Netherlands should want our seal data. It's quite difficult actually now, because exactly we don't have taxonomists and scientists so much anymore. But I can see that Lena, you have wrote cost effective on the innovative methods, but Matilda has write like higher costs. So we have I would like to maybe you can elaborate, Lena, like how is innovative methods more cost effective?
Yeah, I think it was regarding the zooplankton. I can add that in that we just discussed, because I'm not so. That was at least for that case when someone did a calculation about the hours that the taxonomist should spend for the zooplankton samples versus that could be detected using machine
that's
learning.
Actually like true. If you have already developed the AI method or something, it would probably take a lot less
cost
hours
effective
than human hours. You would have to go out, count the birds, and in that way
so cost effective when developed might be more
But again, the developing process, like in terms of money and in terms of time, is like quite costly.
Yes.
I would expect. But when we are now, I have a feeling that all of us, at least, we are supportive of the innovative methods and their development. But don't you think that this could also raise a problem when we were talking about data comparability before?
Yes.
Because like if richer countries have more developed AI based monitoring.
I think that's the key thing that you bring up now, because in a way it's no sense in having too high resolution if it's more worth doing it in the same way with comparable data, I would say. I think actually so I agree. I don't of course that can be sold or developed further, but the most important thing is to use the data we have in a more share it more, and then this could actually, as I think you were highlighting there, it could make it more complicated because you lose the comparability of the data sets, and that's a worry. I think it's not like it's for the greater good only to be fast in technical development.
So in that sense, you would prefer the traditional methods?
Yeah, I think I'm traditional. I vote for the traditional.
Yeah.
And others, you still would prefer the innovative methods or traditional now?
I wasn't think about innovative as AI, more about like when we think about algae, maybe we should switch more into molecular checking than taxonomy, because it's really hard, like really hard. So it would be more efficient to use like molecular technology.
Mm-hmm. Well, yes. Well, okay then. I have no more questions for you lined up, and we have actually 25 minutes left, but I don't think we have to force it. Since, but maybe we can. Maybe all of you, if you look a little bit to the right, I have put some like sticky notes there, and maybe you could all write that the most important thing that stuck with you from this workshop, that or some new idea or some new point of view, or just like some key thing you can take with you from this workshop.
Or maybe you can explain somehow how, for now, the data is collected. When I look for the map,
Yeah.
and we have like information for different places, they go from who?
Well, there's right now there's every, as I have understood, or I've only like worked on it nationwide, like only in Estonia. But as I've understood, Helcom does these assessments where every country that is part of it has to use the same methods to assess then different aspects of their uh, region. And that's like, for example, assessments are giving this information. But yes, I mostly work with only national data, not the international. So I'm not quite sure how the international data sharing works. But I know that it's not that easy, but that we have also had quite a lot of problems because the monitoring methods, a little bit different. And also it's difficult to do exactly the same monitoring programs because in like Estonia waters and compared to Sweden, it's so different, and we have such different habitats, for example, that we cannot use only like one specific program, or exactly we have to use area specific programs because they're so diverse in some places, and that
Okay.
makes sometimes the uh, international data exchange quite difficult because we use different assessment methods.
Okay. Thank you.
So I will need to leave. So thank you so much for good hosting and for meeting you all.
I muted myself, but so Niklas, what was your key, most important thing you took today?
I'm writing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. For start, we need this because we all are living around the Baltic, and we have to take responsibilities as single individual and companies and whatever that are using these waters. And then we also need this system to gather around these important issues. So that was one thing that I was already convinced about that. But we need to I don't find the right word, collaborate when you go together and use the same methods and have a clear guidelines in the system how we shall manage those areas. That's very important, I think.
Also, yeah, and the frequencies, like we should all measure these things. Well, it's not really good if Estonia measures it once a year, like some kind of parameter, and Sweden like every month.
Yeah.
So we need also find a way to make these.
In those the system with the IBAs that I work with, we have a 5-year updating frequency.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Matilda, what's your?
Okay, so I just wrote that I now better understand how difficult it is to put it all together. And yes, I think there should be like the same methodology for every places. And I hope that it will work better and like easier. I don't think that it work like bad, but maybe it can be easier.
Yeah, I also really hope that the outcome of this Protect Baltic project actually gives us the expected outcome, because otherwise we are working really hard but still don't achieve it. But yeah, for me, it was also really good that there are people with different like priorities, or what do you prioritize in monitoring programs, because yeah, mostly my work, I only see it only my point of view, and I don't even know to consider, like, for example, soil coverage or like parameters like that otherwise if you don't do like workshops like this. So I'm really grateful that you participated. And well, we have some time, but I think we don't need to just
Okay.
Sit around unless you have something to say. Then I'm happy to listen. But okay.
No, I'm fine.
Yeah.
I can have a cup of coffee.
But thank you very much, and
yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Consider it. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.